My writing practice has changed and continues to change. And every time I'm asked, how do you write? And I say what I do, then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore and I have to come up with a new way. The fact that this just happened is kind of miraculous. And I love that me in my midlife can say I'm having a brand new experience. I hope everyone gets to live that way. I like to write in the morning before I begin my other responsibilities. As a mentor and a teacher and a community person, I hold a lot of responsibility in my daily life, and to really be able to hear myself think and feel, I like my writing to be early in the morning before I go to attend to my other kinds of work. But I like to write on a daily basis, and most of it is not usable, but it's a way of taking my temperature, knowing how I am. And also, it is a lifestyle. I use poetry as a tool for living. So I'm not just writing poetry to make a book, then taking a break. I'm writing to live. There is a world of language that we all live in, and it's not all the same world, but it is there. When I asked my mother, what is the first poem you ever heard? And she said, Baruch atah Adonai. So basically she's saying that even through prayers and through songs and other forms of culture, that we're experiencing language in a daily kind of a way. There's a world of language out there that I'm really grateful to be able to connect to. And for example, when the pandemic hit, it was also it was near National Poetry Month, where the theme was shelter and poetry. And that's what I did. And you can hang out with people you don't know. You can hang out with people who are dead. You can hang out with people you wouldn't have a chance to meet during the day through literature. It's a great comfort. I turned back the clock to long before yesterday, revisited the archaeology of bunny-looped laces, back when my mouth wished for whistle ability and hands grasped fat lead pencils, longing for the capacity to spell an entire word. I didn't set out to write a book, I set out to write a poem. And then another poem, and then another poem, and then another poem. And then I realized I had a whole bunch of them. And I started to send them out to publishers, thinking they wouldn't be picked up, and they were just gobbled up. It's about the labor that mothers do that goes unrecognized, unremunerated, undervalued. There is a silence about a mother's work. Mostly it's on 3 pages, and mostly the poem is in brackets, and it's an entire page of emptiness. Look down upon the quiet, an apartment with a crib and a door. Night circulates through the passageways, a pregnant woman and infant, 2 clouds. This happens specifically, it's funny, I see this poem looking down on myself, and I was pregnant by the door and my son was sleeping. It's a picture. The second footnote on the empty page is container of oxygen, a living room and a bedroom at 34.022 North, 118.2437 West. Absent from the scene is the father of the family, his body 5,952 miles south, em outro continente. The mother clasps her hands, presses her back against the wall. She watches her toddler sleep, follows the cadence of his calm in and out halations. The air in the space colludes against her. Just me, my babies, and 5 billion gallons of cold empty. For some reason, the character zooms back into her life 27 years later, and that's me writing this book. 27 years later, the mother returns to the scene, a storyteller. She plants music where there was echo, movement where inertia froze solid, warm water where ice halted. She bends pillows out of stone, buries tree roots where wind scraped the plains flat, plants praise on lips and in sentences. Praise your planks and burrows, she hums to her former self, bent needle woman, sleepy, midnighted. I claim you as any woman can claim a thing of value. Plant a self by your own river, see what grows. I don't think without the poem I would have known how to go back and accept myself and the conditions and what I had to go through, what I went through. And for poetry to come back and love me up like that, it feels like it's beyond you. It feels like it's tapping into some greater empathy of the universe. And I needed it, and I didn't expect it, and poetry gave me that. I've been very grateful for the time at CGU because it's been rich with creative thought and experimentation and teaching and learning and in community engagement. The students I have now want to tap into their own leadership impulse. They want to create a world that feels different for the next generation. In a class last week, one of the students was smiling even on Zoom, and I said, "What's going on?" She's like, "I'm thinking about my niece and what the world will be like for her." That's what it's about, creating a living, transforming, changing, learning community.